How's it going, everybody? And welcome back to some more Legend of Zelda Phantom Hourglass. In today's video, we're going to be doing some collecting. We're going to be doing quite a bit of salvaging and exploring the new southern east side of the map. I guess that's what it's called. Or southern eastern quadrant, something along those lines. I think it's probably my favorite quadrant because there's a whole bunch of different species over there, like new inhabitants that we haven't seen, so it's cool to see. And there's some pretty creative islands over there. I think it's probably the best overall, just in terms of design and how they did all the sections of the map. I think the most boring one is probably the Northwestern or Northeastern, one of the two. The Southern Western is, it's all right. That's all I got to say on that. So the way that some of the little treasure mappy things work, it's randomized every time, from what I've gathered. But only like in a specific category. Like, if it's going to be a treasure thing, it's going to be a random piece of treasure. You might get like a regal ring, or you might get stuck with Goron Amber. It could also be a ship part, which I was watching a video the other day. It was a little a salvagey thing that I already did, and a guy got a gold part from it. So I guess it's random with those two. Like, you get something really good, you get something kind of crappy. So it's all just random. I think you might be able to reset for it. I don't think it's already predetermined by starting the game, so you can give that a shot if you want to. Otherwise, you can just ignore them all if you have no interest in really doing any of that stuff. Or we're gonna head on over to our, what is it called, Spirit Island? Something fancy. And we're actually going to be getting a fancy new power-up for Link, which has been, it's Melody Island. Never mind, I'm thinking of a different video. Where am I? I can't remember. I filmed too many of these videos. That's the thing. Because I have so much fun playing the game, and then I end up just playing it so often without just like putting anything together and whatnot, and then I just start to get all messed up and unsure. The reason why I slashed that girl is because she was being really mean and saying there's no way Link could be the hero, and she just deserved all the slashes she got, so I gave them all to her, and that's okay. Alright, now we're going to Spirit Island. See, I knew it was this video. And we get to deal with Jolene, who is pretty much the exact same issue as the first fight. I don't know if it's this fight or one I did in an upcoming video, but there is a way that you can defeat her without slashing her sword away, which I never knew. I always assumed you had to slash her sword to get her to end the fight, but apparently that's not necessary. But I guess it wasn't this one, or maybe it was my first encounter with her. I don't really know, but either way, I never knew about it, and she always has this random dialogue at the end, which it's not ever very exciting. I don't think it's really exciting until our last fight, but, you know, she's a rival for Linebeck, I suppose, and kind of for Link, I guess. I mean, she's not on Link's level, let's be clear about that, but, you know, it's still something. And we do currently have enough for Wisdom Gems, or the Wisdom Gems power up, the Spirit of Wisdom, so we get better defense, and I believe it is halving everything, half damage from everything, and your shield will actually stun things that run into it. So that is quite the benefit, in my opinion. Personally, this is what I'm going to stick with the rest of the game. I just prefer having better defense over offense. But you do you. You know, if you're not interested in the better defense and you'd rather kill things quicker, go for it. Or you can switch them up whenever you want. So just whatever you feel like doing, you know, whatever. We don't need to buy this. You can if you want to. I just bought it for the why not. But what we're really after is our bomb bag upgrade right here. And I think this puts us at either 20 or 30, so it is definitely beneficial because this is a game where, I don't know if I said this at the start or not, but I have a habit of saying, oh, they're so useless, I probably will never need this many. In this game, you're probably going to need quite a few, so I would strongly recommend that either if you don't have enough money, you get some rupees by selling some stuff, or if you have the money, go ahead and buy it, because you're going to want it, trust me. First thing to do here, sorry if you can hear my tummy growling, a little hungry, is we're going to want to be ambushed by these guys. I think you can fend off their little cannonballs, which I didn't do a very good job of doing, but I somehow didn't die, so I'll consider that a win. But we want to be ambushed by these guys because Lineback has been holding out on a courage gem, and for some reason only now decides to give it to us, and it's a really easy fight. Like you just saw there, that's the entire fight, the ambush. And here it is. Now there are 2 frogs in this area, and this is the last area that'll have 2 frogs. There's going to be 1 frog by that little, well, not by the X, but kind of where I'm showing right now. And then there's going to be another frog in the top right portion of the map, kind of in line with the island up there. Quick to the left a little bit more, right before those little rocks. That's where you can find your second frog, which I unfortunately did not know at the time. I guess I just wasn't paying good enough attention to my guidebook, or maybe didn't even say anything about it, or I just skimmed over it. I don't know. But I would recommend getting that. Not quite yet, because you don't need to go that far yet. But as soon as we do make our way up there, then it would be a good time to go ahead and get your next frog. But I think it did take me a little minute to find out where the frog was here. So he'll show himself eventually once you get into a certain radius, and then you can shoot him and draw his design, which this design is oddly easy, and it seems to register more often than any of the previous designs, at least from what I've seen. And there are 2 hidden islands here. One you can see right there. I believe it's called Dee Ess Island, if I'm not mistaken. And there's another one in the top middle of the map as well. So here's our froggy friend, and the symbol for this one, I don't know what it's exactly called. I just know it as the Omega symbol. I don't know if it has like an actual name other than that. So be sure to make a mark of this on the map. That is if you want to use fast travel. If you don't want to use fast travel and you just want to kind of boat all over the place, by all means go for it. But I personally am not really the biggest fan of going super slow with this boat, so I'm going to draw the designs. And here I think I put up a little sequence of me just getting some of the salvage items. Or no, that's the end of the video, my bad. Because right here's when I think I kept this part in. Certainly seen it. But every now and then it's alright to show off some little ocean treasures, I suppose. And you can see right there, there's a Neptoona? I don't know. I really don't know what it's called. But it's got the swordfish icon, which is the ones that we want to go after right now. So we certainly kind of don't want to miss on the opportunity when it's presented for us, because who knows how long it's going to be until we see it again. So whenever you see those swordfish icons, always make sure you go for them. That is, unless you caught all the fish, then you really don't need to worry about it. But I have, fortunately, did get very lucky, because this is the last fish that I need. And you know what that means? We're going to be able to get another heart container very soon. Or, I guess red one now, if I decided that I wanted to stop to, goodness, my tummy's just growling like crazy. I'm really hungry, but I really wanted to do this video because I was very excited for this one. Because it's branching out into the southeastern portion of the map. And, you know, what's more exciting than traveling to a new portion of the Phantom Hourglass map, right? But this sucker was really difficult to reel in, I must say. The one thing that you're supposed to do, which I don't know if the game really clarifies on or not, is you actually want to hold the opposite side of the screen to where the fish is. So we want to be holding the bottom right. Just keep the stylus on that, because he was up in the top left. And now you kind of make your way over to the left, hold it there. And then draw the circles whenever you can, and that's going to be how you reel them in. And this guy is really difficult to reel in. I'm so grateful that they give you some leniency for the danger, but I don't know how much leniency it is, but you don't want to miss out on it. So just try and course correct yourself if you do end up in the danger, like I do. And always make sure that you're pulling on the right side. Don't pull on the wrong side, pull on the right side. And then sooner rather than later, they'll come up. And if you want to, you can go ahead and get the heart container right now. I don't know if I did it in this video or the next video, but I know at some point that I do get the next heart container. And if you're not fan of fishing, well, this is the last fish we actually have to catch, so whew, all done fishing. We do want to stop this real quick just to check out what's going on over here. I don't think there's anything exciting here quite yet, but it is going to be used in the trade sequence for this game, which will give us a nice little reward, being the Hurricane Spin, which has been featured in multiple Zelda games by this point. Goodness gracious, my tummy's really growling, but you know, it's okay because this is Zelda, and Zelda's all that matters. Way away, what a county. So I don't know if this works for all treasures. I'm assuming it would. That thing he's mentioning, I believe, is in reference to one of the trade sequence items, which is actually invisible, which I think we need like a telescope or something to see it. But I believe, based on what the book tells me, that we can use, or we can come back here, sell our treasures for a little bonus. And here we have me getting that heart container. It's interesting dialogue from this guy, because he's apparently never caught it in all his years of being a fisherman, and he has a heart container for some reason, which I don't know where he got it from, and I don't know why there's only, what, like 16 of them? It's a little strange, because in the previous game I believe there's 20, but I don't know. And here we have Dee Ess Island, which there's nothing really exciting here at the moment. We can get some gems, but the main course of this place, it's not unlocked yet. But after this next dungeon we go through, dungeon temple, whatever you want to call it, we will be able to actually make use of the minigame that's here, and it's kind of fun, I must say. Probably one of the better ones in this game, in my opinion. So we can go ahead and make our way on over here. And I forgot to mention at the start of the video. Most of the stuff in this video you really don't need to do. This is all just extra collecting stuff. So if you have no interest in any of this, then you really don't need to do it. You can just go on ahead and skip this video, so this vid, which I guess would have worked. There's some stuff we can dig up. I believe some of them are going to be some hefty rupees. Some of them, perhaps a treasure map. And we're actually going to find him in part-timer very soon, so always keep that in mind if you want to come back here. And if you don't, then just forget about everything you just said. One of the gems that we get is actually from beating up those guys, so we're going to head down there in just a bit. And for some reason there's beehives underground, which I don't know if that's actually a thing. It's not really a thing where I'm from. And we do have to deal with these little rock suckers, but they're not really that big of a deal. You don't need to dig up any of these randomized spots. I think there's a treasure map though, so you do want to dig up that one, of course. We got 100 rupees, which is nice. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, these spots might respawn every time you leave the island, so could be a good way of grinding some money if you really want to do it this way. Otherwise, there's probably better ways to go about getting stuff. It's very generous over here, I must say. So just keep on digging if you're interested. Otherwise, I believe the 100% required items are in a set spot every time, so you don't need to just keep digging in random spots, because I'll always be in the exact same spot, which is always nice. And we do need to drop down there in just a bit, but I wanted to dig up these spots first. Okay, so it is 30 bombs, like that. The bomb bag gave us. So you kind of do need them in this game for certain spots. Certain enemies can be defeated much easier with the bombs, which I feel like this is a game that is actually, I was pretty mistaken about. You actually do make use of your extra items quite a bit. Whether it be bombs or arrows, you actually make use of them, and that's pretty cool. But I was playing the Oracle games the other day, and the amount of bombs they end up giving you in there, that's a little ridiculous, as well as the bomb shoes. Like, the bomb shoes are really cool and everything, but there's not really any practical use for them. Like, I don't even know why you would use them in the first place, because I feel like a regular bomb is going to do a much better job. But I don't know. It's just my opinion. Personally, I don't know. Bomb shoes and the Oracle games are a little random to have, but you know, they're fun to have, I suppose, if you want to kill something in a unique way. But yeah, that's all I got to say about bomb shoes. So, if you're like me and kind of didn't really know where that was and we're just guessing, go ahead and just keep digging along the bottom. But it is actually going to be over to the left here, which I believe is where the select button was. And there's our courage gem. Maybe that's what I was thinking of. There's no treasure map. Or is there? I don't know. I better not say anything else. Just follow the timestamps. Timestamps are always accurate. Or I would say accurate 90% of the time in my videos. Maybe 95% of the time. I feel like being generous. These guys just toss the bombs in their mouth when they start vacuuming. You can use your own bombs if you like, if that's easier for you. I don't know, these aren't those guys. These are different guys. Just thinking of the other creatures, which are like Yetis. These are the arrow guys. You can defeat them easier if you do have your offense upgrade going, which I don't like. At least not in this case. So just slash them away, and here is where we're going to get ourselves a nice extra gem, I believe. Yeah, another courage gem. Way to go. And I think by this point, we can actually get the sword beam, which, like I say, it's not very exciting. It is just a sword beam. I think it does standard sword damage. So, it's not really too exciting. Here's a little salvage. Little show off again. Just more ship parts. And I don't think that I actually have enough to do like any extra hearts on the ship, which is a tad bit unfortunate, but it is what it is. And this island here is going to be another way for us to make some decent rupees, well, winning or losing. You can also save and reset, which would also be a good way to grind out rupees. For the most part, I think from what I've played so far, other than selling items, I think this place might be the go-to. Because you can either get really, really fortunate and get the little rupee thingy that doubles your rupees up and whatnot. Or you can get like 5 rupees in a row and just kind of be left with nothing. So it's all up to you. It's personal preference. However, there are 2 treasure maps that we're going to get here right now. And then there's 2 more we can get, I believe, after the next 2 dungeons, if I'm not mistaken. It's either 1 dungeon or 2 dungeons that we can go ahead and get more. And the unlucky souls he's talking about is the stupid rupees that like to take your rupees and are really mean. We saw one on the ghost ship when I opened the treasure chest that she wanted me to open. So that was kind of a bummer, but you know, I learned my lesson, kind of. I don't know how this Lucky Lee works exactly. He kept telling me to pick the larger to the small treasure chest, and I think I kept pick. Okay, so I guess it doesn't really matter. You're getting one either 150 or 200, maybe. But here's our first treasure chest, and the treasure's buried. Or would it be considered buried, being under the ocean? Because it's buried under that waves. I don't know. before, so unfortunately we did lose 50 rupees, but it's okay. And like I said, if you want, you can just keep saving and resetting. I believe that'll work fine. Otherwise, every time you finish the game, you just leave the island, or you might be able to save that way too, and then just restart your save file to continue digging. But we do want to come back to get the next treasure map. So we're gonna spin right around like a record. And then rinse and repeat. I think you can only get rupees from this place, aside from the treasure maps. I don't think there's any actual treasure here. At least none that I saw. But maybe you can get treasure, I don't know. And it doesn't seem like it really takes that long to get the treasure maps. I don't know how that works exactly, if the game bases it off a certain amount of times that you dig before it gives you to them, or gives you the treasure maps. Personally, I found them fairly quickly, within like 10 minutes of each other, I would say. So, it's not terribly difficult to get. And if you don't want the treasures, then don't even bother with this place, unless you want to make some rupees. Because I feel like more often than not, you're going to end up gaining rupees from this place, which is always nice. And just showing off kind of what the game all leads to if you go ahead and dig. Some of the time, the root borers are going to be a little annoying to deal with, but like I say, I think it's more often more so fair than not fair. And here we have my final attempt here, where I get the treasure map, which you can see right here. I checked my map because I was like, those suckers are really close to each other, and they actually are really close to each other. I don't know why that is, because there's a whole crap ton of space left on the sea charts. So I guess they just felt like put a bunch here. And if you don't want to, you don't need to keep on digging once you've gotten what you want, because that was unfortunate, kept getting root borers. So hopefully you have better luck than I did. Maybe you'll keep getting 200 rupees. I don't know. I don't know exactly what you can all find here. You might be able to get 300 rupees for all I know. Like one of those gold rupees. But I don't know for certain. I think the highest I saw was, maybe 100? I don't know if I saw a 200 one or not. But it's still fun to dig around. So here I ran into Jolene again, and this might be the time when I actually managed to defeat her by, just slashing her. And I don't think she can be avoided. I think once she sees you, maybe if you keep jumping and going in like a straight line, or ending up on an island, but I think if there's like no islands, she might end up catching you. But she's really not that big of a threat either, so it's... I mean, you do get a prize if you do defeat her, and she somehow never thinks to check the crate there, which is a little strange, but, you know, it is what it is. Same fight as normal. I don't think she ever switches up, like, at all. And you just gotta be patient waiting for your timing, because she eventually will give you the opening, like there. And see, I don't know how exactly you do that by slashing her and getting her to drop the sword without doing the little sword clash thing, but I somehow did it there. And Lineback gave me more crap. I guess 100 rupees isn't crap, but you know, we're kind of good on rupees. And here I just end up showing what I finally got for the last treasure spots. But I think that is going to do it for this video. So I want to thank you guys all for watching, and I hope you have a good rest of your day.